Well, good afternoon. Why women cheat and what to do about it. Okay, so I'm doing this video because there seems to be a misconception in the YouTube world that talks about this topic a lot, that women, and we're going to talk about what women cheating, okay? Because guys cheat too, but males cheat for different motivations than women do. So this one is more about female motivation behind cheating. So there seems to be a misconception that the reason why it's, there's a lot of black and white thinking when people do talk about these discussions, and they want to put out absolutes when obviously there's a there are universal principles, but there's a uniqueness to every relationship too. So sometimes what might universally apply doesn't always. And anyway, at any rate, so it's a common misconception to say that women cheat because they find someone better. That they will always, when they cheat, it's because of hypergamy, and that they found the next person to move upward to, and so that's the motivation. And that I've even heard some YouTube people with larger YouTube channels than me certainly say that that's always the case. They use the term always. If she cheats, it's always because she found someone better. Well, that's not really true, okay? Because if I can name a number, there's countless examples where a woman cheats, and it's not because the person she cheated on is better than who she was with. And in fact, it's sometimes very far in the opposite direction. So we'll break this down here, the motivation or drivers, okay? So the first motivation or driver for cheating is hypergamy. All right, so hypergamy is, and this is the one that I just said doesn't always happen this way, but this is probably the most common one though, okay? Which is she does find someone better, okay? So her driver is for a woman, the grass is always greener someplace else, and she's always looking outward to try to see if she can optimize her mating opportunity and strategy. So when she looks outward, if the guy that she settled with is, not as good as someone she can secure outside of the relationship, then she will have a tendency, her drive will be to cheat with that other person and, have that person's baby, okay? Basically. Whether she has their baby or not, that's the driver, okay? So it's a basic hindbrain drive. Hypergamy is how we survived as a species. It's women always mated always mated with the best genetic option they can secure. So if they settle with somebody, let's say in a long-term relationship or a marriage, it may be at the time that they settled with that person, they thought that was the best genetic option. At least their hypergamous brain thought that. There might be other emotional draws and tries and things in play that cause her to be with that person. But once she wakes up from her bender of oxytocin and dopamine, during the honeymoon phase, she starts seeing the guy for what he is, and maybe she can secure somebody better. And so then that person comes along, and then she mate switches, branches, or cheats. Another similar scenario is a woman will settle with someone who has part of her needs met, usually the financial security needs, but then doesn't have her sexual and emotional needs met. And so when she finds a hole or there's something missing, do you know what I mean? She will find somebody else that has that thing that's missing. Usually that's sex and emotion. So usually what happens is she settles with a guy that she perceives as a good provider, maybe a good father, and all of the beta characteristics. So she settles with that guy, but she always remembers that alpha she used to fuck when she was in college or whatever, and she's never really fully satisfied with the beta that she married. And then, of course, someone who she perceives as more alpha comes along, a better sexual option, and then it's, of course, all the rationalizations as to why she needs to go sleep with that guy. So there's different patterns that it'll follow if this is what she's doing. If it's the beta guy that takes care of her shit and pays for her stuff and takes care of kids for her, all that stuff, and she's just sleeping with the alpha option, it's usually going to be just isolated. You know what I mean? It's not going to be a full relationship. She'll sleep with that, she'll go out for girls' night You know what I mean? And find a nice guy to sleep with, and her friends will cover for her. And, you know, be a guy with the muscles and the tattoos, and they get a hotel room. He bangs her out. And then she doesn't, you know, they don't talk anymore. They don't talk afterwards, right? Or whatever. Maybe it's a 1-night stand. Maybe it's a 5 or 10-night stand. But then it just sort of dissolves, you know, before she gets caught. And she goes back to the beta provider. And in 6 months, 2 years, she repeats. All right? So that's a hypergamous reason for cheating. She found someone better in at least a number of categories, and she goes with that. Okay. If it's another way to tell if if she outright mate switches. So let's say she's with, you know, a guy. What I will say, she's married to a guy, and then she meets Kevin in sales. Kevin's a little bit more alpha, a little bit better, you know, physique, a little bit taller, a little bit better looking, makes her feel real good, all this stuff. And then they get a long-term, and he supplies her with emotions maybe that the guy at home isn't supplying her with. And so she receives those emotions, and that and she ends up then mate switching. So what she'll do is she'll leave the person at home, and now all of a sudden she's with Kevin from sales. Okay, so now she left you, and she's now with Kevin, and Kevin's better for her, nice guy. I mean, she's been setting Kevin up during the entire relationship, probably fucking him for 6 months to a year, and now she's, you know, decided it was a secure scenario for her to mate switch, and so she mate switches. So if it's because of hypergamy and the other dude is better in a number of categories than you, then she switches. You know what I mean? Or at least that's what she'll do. And so those are the two patterns they'll follow. It'll either be a short-term cheating strategy because the guy that she's cheating with supplies her with things that are better than what you can supply her with. Usually it's dick game and physique and all that. Or it's, the guy's, she fully mate switches to another long-term prospect, which she perceives as better. All right. So again, women are always looking for the better deal, and so she thinks she found it, and she moves on. That's the most common reason for cheating. That's causes her to move on usually from the relationship. If she's tied in financially, and then she'll live a life of, you know, basically hypergamous cheating every so often within the relationship. She'll get that variety with that alpha guy, and then come home to the beta and have him pay for all of her shit, and she'll nag him to take the trash out. Okay, so that's a common reason. That's the reason that everybody on, you know, people that talk about these topics on YouTube, the manosphere and all that. I hate that word, but you know, a lot of different people that have discussed this topic, they'll talk about that one aspect. But there's other aspects too. Okay, so the other reason for cheating, another reason, is devaluation. So this is hypergamy at work, but it's also with a little bit of brain trauma, a little bit of emotional and mental trauma added to the hypergamy. And so what happens is a lot of times she'll have an attachment issue or a problem. And so she can't attach to the guy that she sees as the best sexual option. It makes her anxious, makes her nervous, and she'll have a need to throw that away. And so then she could be she's cluster B, personality disorder, BPD, narcissist, one of those things where she devalues. Either way, what she's doing is she's taking a perfectly good guy and she's devaluing him till he's up here, he's Superman, okay, and she devalues him, makes him, has him concede here, concede there, nags him, bitches at him, collects like as if she's going to court, you know what I mean? Collects every wrongdoing on a little checklist that she kind of keeps someplace, whether it's in her mind or actually on paper or in her phone, and she'll devalue this person and find every reason to try to cut him down from where she saw him at in the beginning. And so she brings Superman down to Clark Kent level, right? And then now that she sees Superman as Clark Kent, and then she goes ahead and cheats with Batman. All right, and so Superman's still Superman. Okay, so he's actually the better sexual option. Let's assume, physically speaking, Superman's better than Batman. I like Batman better, but whatever. Let's assume Superman's better than Batman. He's still the best sexual option for her, but in her mind, because of her own bullshit, she brought him down in her mind and to believe he's less than Superman. And then she cheats with mid-grade guy, okay? Thinking mid-grade guy's better, but really once her the drugs of the oxytocin and dopamine wear off, and that incident, whether it's the first time they have sex or the 20th time or the third month of them seeing each other, it doesn't matter. Once it wears off, she realizes, oh shit, I just, kicked Superman to the curb. He's really the better guy. I'm really stupid. Okay, so that happens often. All right, maybe not as often as the hypergamous mate switch or the hypergamous short-term cheating strategy, but that happens often. What happens in a relationship is she sees you for who you really are, so she can't put you on the same pedestal that she did. She sees you for all your strengths and your weaknesses. The new guy she only sees for the strengths that he can present. He could have a series of other weaknesses and issues, right? And he could be a lot worse of a guy than her partner, but she doesn't see that because he's new. So she only sees the strengths he presents. So she perceives him as better, cheats. And then once those weaknesses and problems really do present themselves, then she realizes, oh, I'm stupid. I was actually with the better guy. Okay, so that happens all the time too, the devaluation process. If a woman has an attachment issue or problem, like she had a rough childhood or bad relationships before, where she is anxious and she's worried about abandonment, and she has either a avoidant attachment style or even an anxious one, but generally an avoidance are the ones that really will cheat. She can't have a healthy attachment. She'll attach to you, all right, and want to be with you. You're the best option for her. But now with that attachment comes resentment, hate from all of the previous relationships and maybe things from childhood where she was discarded and abandoned. All of that baggage comes out and gets dumped on you. It becomes your fault. You become the scapegoat for that. And so she sees you as the bad person. She looks for a million ways to devalue you, no matter what you're doing, okay? No matter how you handle it, it won't matter. She will devalue you, and then she will look to mate switch, cheat on you. All right, so that is still falling in the same category of devaluation, why a woman would cheat. Okay, so she's not actually cheating with the better guy, but she perceives at the time that guy is better, and then she moves and switches to that guy, and then she goes, oh fuck, I'm stupid. You know what I mean? And so that happens a lot. Now also too, in that scenario of trauma, it doesn't matter what the guy does, he still gets switched on. But there's scenarios too where where it actually does matter what you do. You keep making concessions because you care about her. So you keep, allowing her to walk on you. You keep allowing you're the nice guy. You were the alpha guy when you got together, but now you keep giving her all these concessions, which only allows her to devalue you in her mind. Okay, so as you care about her more and start, conceding to her more, then she starts seeing you as less and less. And once you get down to the level, a guy steps into her life or one of her orbiters is already into her life, she sees this guy as better now all of a sudden because you're not the same as you used to be, then she cheats. You're still this guy, you just gave a bunch of concessions to her, which is why you never placate or concede to a woman, okay? Because it'll only end with you being devalued. Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you do that to her, right? So you don't do that, okay? But that's what a lot of guys will do. They will get in that relationship, they will placate, supplicate to their woman, and they will bring themselves down, essentially, and then she won't see him as high a value, and then hypergamy will cause her to then cheat. Even though objectively he is of higher value, and all he has to do is, sometimes the cheating just causes him to grab his balls and start behaving like he used to, and then she realizes, oh shit, my bad, he really is this guy. I just, caused him to concede because he cared about me. You know what I mean? Dumb him, right, for doing that. Anyway, so that's the devaluation process, all right? So you have two things. She sees somebody better, that's hypergamy, so she moves on to the better guy, or she devalues you, sees you as not as good anymore, then she goes with someone she perceives as better, but of course she finds out later that was a bad choice, all right? So that's reason number 2. Okay, so now reason number 3, a woman will cheat, we call it reverse cuckoldry. Revenge cuckoldry, all right? So, Revenge cuckoldry. This happens to a lot of alpha guys, okay? It's that classic example. What is it? Movie. Excuse me. The Napoleon Dynamite, where the dude with the karate instructor, the self-defense instructor was dating that bodybuilder chick, and the bodybuilder chick had what, I think Uncle Rico maybe over or something, and then she was like, "Go, get out of here, he'll kill you," you know what I mean? Anyway, so it's that classic movie example where the chick's with the aggressive asshole, and then she brings in the weaker guy to go sleep with, and then she goes, "Oh, you better run because he'll kill you," and he has to escape. He's trying to sleep with this guy's girl who's, the guy's going to kill her anyway. So that's just the archetype, the movie archetype. But what are they that they're simulating in movies like that, okay? A real world thing, which is where the alpha dominant, her best sexual option, her dominant sexual option is, is getting cheated on, all right? That does happen. So this is where it kind of flies in the face of this theory that she always cheats with someone better. Not necessarily, okay? So she doesn't always cheat with the best sexual option. So sometimes she's mad and bitter and upset at the best sexual option. So someone she sees as alpha, she can't keep him for some reason. Maybe she can't control him. Maybe her trauma is as such where she wants to feel more secure by controlling a guy, and she can't control this guy, which makes her more attracted to him, but then also angry at him, anxious around with him, and it drives her crazy that she cannot just keep this guy. She's unwilling to go into his frame and follow his leadership, so she sits outside of that leadership angry that he's not committed to her enough, or angry that he's not listening to her enough, or that he won't put up with her shit, that sort of thing. But he's just that alpha guy. Or he's the alpha guy who really is an asshole. So maybe the guy's an asshole, he's not emotionally supportive, there's a number of things. Maybe he's abusive, right? But she sees him as the best. Her hindbrain, her monkey brain, would rather have babies with this alpha asshole, but she is mad at him basically out of anger, frustration, and even a little bit of hate for him. She will cheat on him. Okay, so she looks to bring this alpha down through cheating. She literally gets off on the other guy thinking that her man at home is in pain. Okay, so that he's in pain or hurting or upset, she'll drop a hint that she might be cheating, and then she'll go be with this guy and try to fuck him, right? And so she'll literally orgasm at the thought of her alpha on the floor crying because he's upset of having lost her, right, or whatever it may be. That's how sinister this one is. And don't think that any woman isn't capable of this, because you all are. I'm sorry, but you are. So women can be very, very, very savage, very sinister when we're working with hindbrain drives, and they don't care. And so when they see somebody as their best sexual option, but they're mad enough at them, this is something that they will often do. They will sleep with somebody who is not a better option necessarily, just an opportunity, and they will, even sometimes they'll pick even a guy who is not nearly as good, who would be offensive to the alpha, you know what I mean? Because she wants to put that up in his face any way, shape, or form, and she wants to put it up in his face. She wants to get caught, she wants to, and how can you tell that this is the case, Well, you can tell that this is the case if she's always pining for your attention. So after you leave her, break up with her because of her cheating behavior, she still wants to be in your life. She still wants some sort of friendship. She still wants to have some connection with you. She doesn't want to let you go. So when that's the case, you may have been her alpha option that she was angry at, and so she slept with somebody else, Now, it could be just that she wants to keep you as a backup plan too, in which case then you're the beta option and she picks someone else. But, you'll kind of know it because, she'll always be comparing the other guy to you, and she will try to do it in a way where it makes you angry. Like, she'll try to present the other person. She'll even tell you about sex, what it's like with the other guy, things like that. She'll try to say shit to get you angry, to get you upset, because she wants to, it's a revenge move. She wants to upset you. She wants to make you angry. She sees you as way up here, stronger and better than she is, because you are stronger and better than she is, and she wants to take you off that pedestal. So, I mean, these are those revengeful moves like you hear about the deployed guys that I've seen it. I know it's happened, okay, where they'll get a video of their chick screwing another guy or screwing their friend at home, and they'll get it in a video from a guy that's deployed. She's so angry at that, her alpha option, which is the deployed guy, that she wants to put it in his face, bring him down some way, shape, or form. And so this is narcissistically driven, whether it's an actual cluster B narcissist or whether it's just somebody who is, whether it's just trauma-based, you know, whether they just can't take the fact that they can't keep their alpha. I mean, when a woman can't keep her best sexual option and she doesn't think she can keep that person, it really it can throw her off into crazy. We've all joked around and jokes around the internet of things of, you know, hitting the crazy button. You know, you fuck a girl real good, you hit her in the crazy button. You know, it's right near the cervix, okay, that little joke. That's kind of a real thing, though, okay? It's not so much that it's all about sex and the crazy button inside of her body. It's not like that. But if, you know, if she has a high enough drive for you and you're her alpha option, but she is not a functional person and cannot keep it together to keep you, or if you're just not that into her, or if you're an asshole and you can't keep a woman, okay, then she will get crazy and do stuff like this. And so that's where revenge cuckoldry comes into play, where she will cheat and she will mate switch. And every person she's with, you're actually the mental point of origin of every guy she's with. She's not even with that guy. She's with somebody that compares to you every single time. Okay, so, and you can tell if that's the case because her behavior will show it. She will want to display it. She will want to rationalize. It's like this, you know, when somebody goes for a really good job, okay, but they don't get hired and they end up stuck with a mediocre job. You'll hear them rationalize, right? They'll say, well, I didn't want that job anyway, and, you know, that would have been this and that wouldn't have been that great, and this is probably the best thing for me. And then, of course, everything happens for a reason. You know, most people, and females in particular, don't want to face that they're in a worse situation or that they didn't get the best option, you know, so they will rationalize. So she will try to take this person she mate switched with or this person she cheated with, she could be half the man of the alpha, okay, and she will try to present him as if he's better. She'll try to display it, and of course the rest of the world can look at it and see no fucking way, at least most of the time, you know what I mean? Usually you can just tell, but she'll display this person, you know, and make him feel real good with her vagina, you know, and make and make him feel special, you know, when everyone on the planet knows it's not the guy you were with before, and the guy you were with before was better. And so she's just trying to rationalize, I didn't want that job anyway, I'm really glad I got this one down here. And so that's where this thing comes from, this revenge cuckoldry. She's trying to get back, she's trying to revenge at the alpha she couldn't have, okay? Oh, and going back to devaluation, all right, so you know it's devaluation when she pines and comes back for you, and it's not to keep you as a beta option. All right, so when she's trying to keep you around because she's really unsure if the person that she's mate switching to or cheating on you with or has cheated on you with is the one, like if she's unsure about that and she's trying to keep you around and keep you in her life, and then particularly if she tries to switch back to you and it's not because you were a backup plan necessarily, you can usually tell that too, when she's, particularly if she's saying that, oh, that was a mistake, you know, then that's how you know that it was a devaluation circumstance, that the guy she left was actually the better option, but she had devalued him in her mind and then switched to somebody that wasn't as good and then realized it later, okay? So now we get into the fourth motivation, and I've done a video on this called Is She Capable of Monogamy? All right, so go look into that one. It has a lot of hits. It's pretty well done. All right, but that touches on this point, which is polyamorous drives. Some women cannot be monogamous, okay, just the way it is. They ruined their internal drives for monogamy through promiscuous behavior when they were, you know, younger in their sexual years. This is a real thing because we have a genetic drive towards polygamy anyway. All right, we were a polygamous species for 190,000 years, so we've only been monogamous for about 12,000, and that's 12,000 years, and that was with agricultural revolution, and that was due to environmental adaptations. And so there's a lot of reward for monogamy. The monogamy is probably the most rewarding strategy when our life expectancy is as old as it is. remember, when polygamy was a strategy, people usually died before they hit age 30. So what was the strategy that was survivable in small tribes when you died early now does not do well to secure you for long-term happiness. Arguably, some might argue differently, but arguably you won't secure long-term happiness as well with a polygamous strategy. Okay, so you're living to 75, 80 years old. It might be better not only for resources but companionship to have that one person. Okay, but monogamy takes work. You have to, and some people ruin their drives towards it. So you have an internal, you have a chemical reward system, your dopamine, your serotonin, your oxytocin, a bunch of chemicals. Well, if a female in particularly, and they've done the research on this, it's a thing with females more so than males. Okay, if they practice promiscuous behaviors, that means that they get less of a dopamine, oxytocin hit with a new sexual partner. If they're up to 20, 30, 50 sexual partners, they're not getting the same dopamine, oxytocin hit that would draw them and connect them to that other person, like a woman who's only had 2 or 3 sexual partners. Okay, so they've kind of ruined their internal reward system for monogamy because they're getting that chemical hit with the newness and variety of new partners. They condition themselves to get that hit from attention and from male attention from new people. Okay, that variety is what gives them the chemical hit. All right, and that's an epigenetic stimulation of polygamous drivers that we have in our genetic, in our DNA. Now there are monogamous drivers, but you have to suppress the polygamous ones and look for having getting that reward with one partner. So instead of variety, the depth that you go with one person is what allows that drive to exist. So years later, you're still driven towards your monogamous partner. But if you are, it's a Russian roulette game. I can't tell you the notch count a woman has to have before it's ruined. Trauma plays a role. So if their reason why they've slept with 50 people is because they've been damaged or traumatized, they actually might be able to recover from that, believe it or not, and be monogamous. But if it was just their internal drive and they were having a great time in college, you're gonna have a rough time now putting a ring on that chick. We automatically know as a species that this is a true thing. This is why women lie about their notch counts. When they want to, have a committed relationship and they're done riding every penis on earth, they want to settle down, they go, I've only slept with 4 people, when really it was, 34 people, right? We know it because they didn't count that one time at the party, and they didn't count the time they had the threesome when she was drunk. And all right, you get what I'm saying? Like, we know this. They wouldn't lie about it if they didn't know it too, okay? We know that a high notch count correlates with an inability to do monogamy. All right, and so that's the 4th reason. The 4th reason is that no matter what you would have done, she would have cheated on you. Okay, it was only a matter of time. Her best efforts will not allow her to continue with happiness in a monogamous relationship. No matter how, it's sad too to see. No matter how much she wants it, no matter what she says, no matter how much she imagines a white picket fence and 2 kids and a husband to come home to and having a stable life, she cannot do it. She cannot turn down dick after a point, because she needs the variety. Like a drug addict, okay, she has to get that dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin hit from new dick. She cannot get it from the same old dick in the house that she's lived in for 2, 3, 5 years. All right. Now this will show up where she's just cheating constantly. All right. So if she cheats throughout the relationship, okay, clearly it's a polyamorous drive then. All right. That's her reasons for cheating. As a man, there's nothing you can do. You could be Superman, right? You could be the best man in the world. There's not even a devaluation process that happens here. She just does it. You know what I mean? Some of them will do serial monogamy. The newness of the relationship will be there. Once that newness wears off, 6 months, year, all of a sudden they're unhappy. Okay, so they're unhappy. Well, it doesn't matter who the guy is, and they will find ways to pick him apart and devalue. It turns into the devaluation reasoning, but the real thing is, though, that they're polyamorous. they can't do monogamy. They've ruined themselves for it. They're not capable of it. No matter how much they dream and want a perfect love relationship, and some of these women, I've been with them in my past, I'll tell you, it's a nightmare, are addicted to the love feeling. They want that love, and they're addicted to it. And what they'll do is they'll just mate, switch, and transfer it to whoever will give it to them because it's an addiction. They don't care about the other person. The other person's incidental, you know? And so, but they've slept with so many people that their drives are polyamorous. So it won't matter. They'll be with a guy a year, 2, 3. Eventually, they will cheat on that guy. Their track record shows that they've done nothing but cheat. They will continue to do nothing but cheat. And there's nothing you can do about it, okay? So those are the four drivers for cheating for a female, okay? So you got, and so what, let's kind of look at what's salvageable, first of all. If she cheats on you, can you salvage that relationship? Generally speaking, no, okay? Generally speaking, if she cheats at you, what you should do is kick her to the curb and never look back, all right? Now, I'm going to review that in a second, okay? Let's look at where it's impossible for it to work, all right? Meaning it'll never work, okay? And then where is there maybe possibility, all right? So category 1 was hypergamy. She cheats because she found someone better. All right, if she legitimately found somebody better, even if you make yourself better later, you know what I mean? Her driver was to cheat because of that better thing. Maybe he was just taller than you. Maybe he had a better body. Maybe he had a bigger dick. Maybe he, you know, had more alpha behaviors. Whatever. You know, maybe he had a little more money. Whatever it may be, okay? She cheats, even if you earn more money and the money was the driver, although usually money is not the driver, but even if that was what happened, you know, she already cheated and made the decision believing you are less and that somebody else was more. Because of her hypergamous brain, okay, because her brain is hypergamous, meaning it's always looking to mate upward with next best genetic option. If she ever settles with somebody that she perceives as less than her best that she could have gotten, she will perceive herself as having settled. She will never look at that guy with the amount of love and admiration and sexual draw and arousal that guy would want. Okay, these are those relationships where she's just not that excited about the guy she's with. All right, which is most marriages. Okay, these are the relationships where it ends 7 to 10 years later with divorce paperwork and I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Okay, she's not that excited. If she cheated because of hypergamous reasons, meaning the guy was legitimately better in some category, that sucks. Suck it up, move on, and find another woman. You can never repair that, okay? Because even if you end up back with her, that means she settled with you because she couldn't have the other person. The other person was better, she couldn't make it work, and so now she comes backwards to settle with you. You're second or third or fifth place. Okay, well, if you're second or third or fifth place, she will never be excited about you. Never to the level that you deserve as a man. And so never take her back if that's the case. And this is where women ruin themselves too. This is why loyalty is important. Yeah, there may be something better out there, but if you allow yourself to experience that and then that person discards you, well, you're fucked, because now you can't be happy with the previous person, and you can't be happy with somebody that's lesser than that. It'll turn into a whole Titanic movie situation where she pines for the dude who drowned, you know, the Leonardo DiCaprio character that drowned for the rest of her life, and she marries somebody else and never fucking is ever happy because her man drowned in a boat accident, right? That's the Titanic example, to the point where she throws a diamond worth millions into the ocean in his memory. Okay, that you'll be the guy she settles with. Meanwhile, the guy she cheated on was Leonardo. All right, she's throwing diamonds in the ocean after you're dead in his name. Who the fuck are you? So don't ever go back if it's for. Don't ever go back if the reasons are hypergamy. All right, if the reasons for cheating was she legitimately perceived that other person as better, then don't do it. And don't rationalize. You guys don't want to rationalize because your fucking egos won't allow you to accept the fact that she thinks or found somebody that is better, and so you want to, you know, rationalize how you're better or whatever. That's not really the reason. Okay, well, whatever. You know, be strong, and be a strong alpha male means admitting when, you know, maybe somebody has a little bit something more than you, and you just move on with it. All right. So hypergamy won't work, okay? If she cheated because the guy's better, you'll never go backwards. You'll always be her second choice. Never take that relationship back, okay? Another never situation, unless you want polyamory, okay, is if a woman is not driven towards monogamy, she cannot do monogamy, she's not capable of monogamy. Either the trauma she's experienced means that she's not able to do it, or she just has ruined her ability to have monogamous drives. If she's always going to be a cheater, then you have to, if you go back to her, you're settling with that. You're settling with someone who will always cheat on you. And it's just only a matter of time and variety. And I've seen that. I've seen that with family members and older family members and different people where the woman they settled with, it didn't matter. They've married 30 years, 40, it didn't matter. That woman always cheated. She cheated throughout the relationship. Couldn't help herself. She needed that variety. You know, her neurochemical system needed that drug hit. It's a drug, guys. It's a drug. And that neurochemical reward system she's addicted to other dicks. That's what it is. The variety of another penis gives her the drug hit. She can't fucking help it. And so don't expect monogamy for someone who's not capable of it. All right? That would be like expecting your dog that you have at home to be able to drive you to the store. All right? Your dog's never going to learn how to drive your car. She's never going to learn how to not take other dicks. All right? That's just the way it goes. So those are the two ones, hypergamy and polyamorous drives. If those are the reasons for them cheating, you will never have a monogamous relationship with that person. It'll never work, okay? Now, it could work, but although I still don't recommend it, all right, it could work if she was devaluing. So if she had devalued, you were Superman, she devalued you to Clark Kent, she slept with Batman, then she wakes up out of her oxytocin neurochemical drunken stupor, realizes, oh fuck, I just ditched Batman, I'm real stupid. I'm sorry, I just ditched Superman, I'm really stupid. Okay, if that's what she realizes, then it could possibly work. The only reason why it could possibly work is because she still sees you as the best sexual option. You see what I mean? So her hypergamous brain still sees you as the best sexual option. She just had a moment of stupidity where she, you know, for her own reasons, trauma, whatever it may be, maybe even your behavior, she devalued you and she felt like somebody was maybe better. Okay, so that could salvage. The bottom line is she has to see you as the best option. Reason number 3, revenge cuckoldry, okay? If she still sees you as the best sexual option in a revenge cuckoldry scenario, she's sleeping with another guy for revenge to get back at you because she's mad at you. She still sees you as better, though. You see what I mean? So that could potentially work, too. Now, I'm not suggesting that you ever go back to it, though. So that gets into the final part of the video, is what do you do about it? So these are the 4 drives, the 4 reasons for cheating. What do you do about it? Now, I know you're not blameless in this, guys. There's probably shit you've done. There's situations, well, I can only think of one, very select situations I've observed, seen, and in my own life, where, okay, she picked another guy or she cheated. Basically, she picked another guy over you, but there was a dynamic involved, or there was something there that you were doing that kind of pushed that along or caused that. And so, you know, you would be willing to try again. All right, I get that. These are really isolated. There could be marriage involved, kids involved, assets involved. But I say who cares about that stuff after a point? You know what I mean? It's about the relationship, not about those other things. However, I mean, there are situations where maybe you were bad to her. Maybe you cheated on her and then she revenge cheated on you. You know what I mean? There's situations where, okay, you can repair it and go work out, as long as it's because of revenge or devaluation was the reason, and then there's a possibility for repair, okay? There's reasons for that. But generally speaking, though, no. And so here's what happens when you first find out you're cheated on, or you get that evidence, you see what's going on. What you do is you walk away. You separate yourself from her. You tell her, you flat out tell her, as a dominant alpha male who doesn't care about her feelings anymore, you say that you're a liar, you're a cheater, and you're a quitter. And I don't want to be with someone who's going to quit on the relationship and just solve her problems with other dick. You want to go be a hoe and a quitter and a cheater and a liar. I don't want a cheater or a liar in my life. And that is it. And if you tell her that, just flat out, that is what it is. Okay? You have to have a better standard for yourself. You don't need somebody who's going to be a liar and a cheater and who's going to fucking quit on you in your relationship. So you walk away from that. And if you live together, you get all your shit and you get the fuck out. You limit the contact to 0, or I understand if there's kids involved or if there's some assets involved or some sort of tie. And if you are considered an alpha option for her, she will try to keep a tie there. I should say this. She'll try to keep a tie there if there's something in it for her, okay? If she wants to keep you in backup position, she'll try to keep a tie there. If there's a financial tie or reason, she'll try to keep a tie there. If she wants to save face and not seem like a bad person, because remember, social acceptance is real big up for females, she'll try to keep a tie there. Or if she sees you as just that alpha option, she'll never want to leave your life. She'll always want to orbit you somehow, if you know, in hopes that maybe, you know, something down the line or whatever, because, you know, she'll try to keep that tie there if she sees you as her alpha. Either way, there may or may not be a tie there, but you have to remove yourself completely from that. That means no discussion. There's no closure. So us guys, we're logical. We want to have closure. We want to have discussion. We want to know what happened. All that shit. I've been there. I understand. Okay, I understand. No. Okay? No closure. Doesn't matter. She's a liar. She's a cheater. She's a piece of shit. You can tell her she's a piece of shit, too. That's probably accurate. Alright? And you want nothing to fucking do with her. I don't care what happened. I don't care what happened. I'm done. We're done. That's it. No closure. Okay? Leave no closure for her. Because you have to understand, at this point, at the point that she decided to do this, she doesn't fucking care about you. Okay? Women in general, even the one you're with, they really don't care about you. When you don't serve them anymore, it's over, then they don't care. Alright? So, they don't, I mean, even if you died, I'll tell you what, even my last ex, right? If I died, okay? If I died, the last person I broke up with, it would just be fodder for her to get attention. She doesn't fucking care. If I was at a funeral, if I died, you know, she would show up to the funeral, she'd bring whatever white trash dick she's jumping on at the time, you know, she'll tell everybody how sad she is. It's all fodder for attention for her. And all support for her ego. Does she care about me? Fuck no, she doesn't. Girl cheats on you, girl fucks you over, dude. She has decided at that point she doesn't give a fuck about you. So guess what? You don't give a fuck about her either. That means you're not going to do revenge things to her, because that's giving a fuck, but in a different way, okay? Your best revenge is success. You separate and you move on. When she makes that choice, she doesn't care. And sometimes when she just makes the choice, I mean, sometimes after a breakup, I mean, they just, you know, she doesn't care about you. And anything you do, all right, anything you do is just boosting her ego so that she can jump on other penises. Understand that. Any conversation you have, you want to let her know, you want to cry and tell her how bad you feel and that she's a terrible person. You seek sympathy from her. You won't get sympathy from her. She doesn't fucking care about you. Okay? Her biological wiring is not to care about you. When you don't serve her anymore, when you're of no service to her, she will not care. Her biological wiring is to serve and care about children. It's not to care about a man. She makes a man happy because of the exchange in the relationship. The exchange of we'll say, resources, both emotional, sexual, as well as financial. Okay, that's why she'll make a man feel good. She'll care about a man for that. But she's not wired to unconditionally care about you because you're not her child. All right, so she won't care. If she seems like she's caring, there's an angle. She seems like she's caring it so she doesn't look and feel like a bad person in front of her peers. Okay, or it's so she can see you cry and get upset and tell you it's gonna be okay. Ego boost, fucking ego boost. Where's the new dick? Alright? I'm being very harsh about this because it's fucking true. And if I don't do this, then you guys are going to screw your lives up. Alright? And you're going to end up getting a girl. She'll cheat on you. You end up killing yourself. you know, thinking you're the problem. You're not the problem. She doesn't care about you. She's the fucking problem. Honestly, she can go fucking walk off a cliff, die, stumble, crack her head open, and good riddance at that point. Okay, that should be your kind of a little bit of your mindset. I mean, of course, you want her to, somebody you once loved, you want her to do well, want her well-being. But if she dropped off the face of the fucking planet, whatever, man. You know what I mean? She decided to stop caring about you. You need to take that very seriously. All right? So when you guys do things, they look for that closure. They want that sympathy for her. They want to let her know how sad they are. You know what I mean? They want to let her know how upsetting it is. They want to let her know, how could you do this to me? This is really terrible what you did. She doesn't fucking care. She doesn't care. You know? All of that stuff is just fueling her ego to be with the next person. All right? So you got to internalize that. She's got to internalize that she doesn't care about you, and everything she says is bullshit. You have to understand all of those things. She's trying to make you, get reactions from you with the other guy. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's not a testament of who you are as a man. None of it. Okay? So it's because she is a piece of shit. That's why. That it's all about her and being a piece of shit. Now, maybe she's a piece of shit because she has trauma and there's tragic reasons for it, and she needs to go to counseling so she can then not be a piece of shit. Maybe that's what it is. Or maybe she's just a straight piece of shit. Who knows? Not your fucking problem anymore, because you're going to walk away from that and never look back. Never. And I'll tell you what, from experience and from watching other people's experiences, when you do that, they always pine for you. They always wish that they were fucking with you. And you know what? It's fucking nothing more satisfying knowing that you don't care anymore. So there's a lot, though, to that, because obviously you do care. You're not a serial killer. You're not a cluster B personality disorder. You're not a psychopath. You cared. You love this person. You want to take care of this person the rest of your life. And then she decided to not care about you. Shit all over you. Okay, that hits a bunch of triggers. It hits rejection triggers. Primal triggers. I mean, dudes kill girls and their boyfriends and their, over this stuff. Dudes will go and fucking murder people over infidelity. So this is obviously pretty serious in terms of where it hits in that caveman brain of yours. And so I get it. Me saying walk away, never look back. Well, that's easy advice that's been given all over YouTube. That's not necessarily, an easy, of course, logically that's the advice, but I know you're going to not want to do that, because your drug addict brain, who was getting the dopamine, the oxytocin, and the serotonin from her, and from that feeling of being in love with her, your brain is it's like a drug addict, okay? And so you need to detox that. And so I'm recalling an article. If you go into Rational Mail, I always link that now in my comments on the YouTube. I always link it, but go to Rational Mail, look up detox. Because it's a detox. It's literally like you're a drug addict. You have to detox from her. And so even if there's ties there, use the techniques in my last video for dealing with emotional trauma, because being cheated on is a serious emotional trauma. It's a serious emotional trauma. I mean, if guys are killing girls and killing their boyfriends over things like infidelity, obviously it's pretty fucking serious. If guys are killing themselves over these situations, pretty serious trauma, right? So don't take it lightly. Okay, we can make jokes all day, but it's a trauma, and you need to go and address that trauma. But you need to address it with you, and she doesn't get the gift of seeing any of it. The more you give her of seeing your trauma, you being upset over it, any of that stuff, the more you give her, the more you just supply her ego to jump on other dudes' penises. Remember that, okay? She doesn't care about you. You're crying to her about how sad it is and terrible and what she did to me and all this, and she's like, I'm so sorry, I know I shouldn't have done that. And she is turning around that day and riding some cock, and it ain't yours. And she's getting off on that dude because her ego is now boosted because this guy was so invested in her that he would put out and pine for her and cry for her. I'll tell you, I've had exes, and I'll tell you, who will say, oh, my exes always wish, I'll bring on my last one, I don't give a shit, she can kiss my ass. She used to always say that, oh, I keep my exes on Facebook so they can see what I'm doing, how good I am, and be jealous of me, and be, wish they were with me. Like, like, are you fucking kidding me? But guess what? That's how they all are. They want you to be sad that they're not with you anymore. She wants that revenge because she's a vindictive bitch, okay? And that's why she cheated on you, because she's a vindictive piece of shit. And so do not let her, and I'm being like obviously very fucking aggressive about this for a reason, because I don't want you guys screwing yourselves up over this. Do not allow her anything. Don't allow her anything that's going to boost that ego. And that means if you get angry at her, ego boost. You kick down her door, ego boost, right? Punch her in the face, ego boost. Now it's he's violent. My lad was so crazy, he was violent, and he just, because he wanted me so bad, I'm so fucking special. You know what I mean? Like, you cry over her, it's, I felt so bad for what happened, blah, blah, blah. But then rationalization, how, it should have happened, how it's really his fault, and, but he'll never be able to move on because I'm so fucking hot, like, fuck that, dude. The women who do that shit, regardless of what category of reasons it is, women who do that shit, when they're doing it to you, take the stance that she's a piece of shit, okay, who doesn't deserve any bit of your energy. You're going to have a lot of pain and all that stuff. You put that towards other things. You do your healing with a therapist, counselor, coach, okay? You level your life up. You do some of the practices I've talked about in a previous video with, state management, meditation, those sorts of things. You get in control. So when you see that girl again, that piece of garbage that decided to fuck you over, when you see her again, you literally don't care. It's like, do not care that I'm seeing her right now. She is another unattractive person that I would never sleep with. You know what I mean? That is the best revenge you can have, is that mindset. Okay, and that's how the best thing. Even if she cheated in a way where it may be salvageable later, doesn't matter. Like, that's where you have to be. You have to be in a place where you no longer care about her, because in that moment, I mean, other than as a human being, right? I mean, I'm not saying don't care about human beings, but you don't care about her as a partner anymore, because she decided not only does she not care about you as a partner, but she doesn't care about you as a human being either when she made that decision. All right, so that's it. That is what to do about it. Is you always walk away. Hey, if a year later she gets, let's just use an example, because let's say it's a marriage, okay, and then she starts getting therapy and counseling, some different things. She cheated on you, and you start to reconnect later. You still walked away as if you're never looking back. It's up to her to go get the help. It's up to her to change herself. It's up to her now to call you up, pine for you, prove that you're the best sexual option, and that that her decision was a bad one. And then you guys can maybe start to work on something, in that rare occasion that it can be worked on. But the initial response is always a walk away, and always get yourself to a place where you don't give a fuck about her at all. When I say at all, I mean, again, not as a human being. You don't want her dead. You would like to see her, I'll use exes as an example. I'd like to see, my exes that have had trouble, I'd like to see them go get therapy, go get help, go do something. I'd like to see them eventually happy. Do you know what I mean? But if they've done some horrible shit to me, all right, cheating is probably on the level of the most horrible, and it doesn't matter if it's emotional cheat, physical, whatever it may be. Yeah, like, I don't fucking care about them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like, oh wow, you're crying because your white trash relationship ended? Cool, like, I don't give a shit. You mean that idiot that you decided to sleep with while you're with me didn't quite work out? Oh, that's so sad. Don't fucking care. You know what I mean? That needs to be your mindset. And quickly move on, because you deserve better. All right? Now again, there's those rare circumstances where it's salvageable later, but it's later. And guess what? It's up to her to do the work to make that even a thing, because you can't do the work for her. And if she made that decision, I don't give a fuck how bad you were in the relationship. She made the decision to break the commitment and cheat, then it's up to her to work on herself and figure this shit out. And if there is a future, it's because she's the one trying to make it happen. All right? So I don't know. I don't have much more to say about it. I'm getting heated and telling you guys in a heated manner what to do. Because if I sit down with one more fucking client who is trying to get his ex back that cheated on her and trying to pine for her when she doesn't care about him and thinks he's garbage, and he continues to reinforce that idea that he's less than her and that he's garbage by chasing after and pining for her, I swear I'm going to lose it on one of you guys. All right, so don't call me for coaching. Call me for coaching, and then let me lose it on you so you can stop doing that. But I figured I'd just lose it a little bit in the YouTube video and tell you the way it is, because it does you no good. Final thoughts. Look, hypergamous brain. She has to see you as better than her. Period. Okay, she has to see you as better than her. I don't mean like better, more valuable as a Christian soul or anything like that, but I mean as a better, like she's here, she has to see you as a better sexual option. She has to feel like she is mating upward. That's what hypergamy is. It's the need to mate upward so that you have a better genetic baby, okay? More survivable, better genetic option for a baby. She has to feel that you're better than her in order to do that. If she cheats on another guy and you're chasing after her and wanting a conversation, trying to work it out, trying to figure it out, letting her know how sad you are, all that stuff, you are telling her that she's better than you, that you're less than she is, and that you don't want to lose her and you're going to pine for her. That's what you're doing. So even if you want her back after all of this, it won't work if you don't say fuck you and leave. All right? Because fuck you and leave means that you're better. Okay? And if you don't feel better in here and inside, then start working on that thing immediately. Start working on yourself immediately so you can understand that you are better. If for any other reason other than the fact that you had loyalty where she didn't, you know? And so, anyway, so that's a final thought I'll leave you with. Because a lot of you guys, they think you feel rejected and you want her to reduce that anxiety from that rejection when she chose another man by pining for her and trying to get her back in some way, shape, or form. Even if you get her back, even just a little bit, it's usually a second. It's usually a backup option, which is the reason why she comes back, and again, she just never fucking works. So have some self-respect, men. Don't put up with shit from any woman, all right? And especially don't put up with this shit, regardless of what the reasoning is. Okay, so those are your reasons. Those are what happens. Those are the whys. But regardless, the answer and what you do about it, it's all the same. All right, thanks for tuning in. Oh yeah, subscribe to my channel. Hit like, subscribe. A lot of people don't like what I say, but I know you like what I say, so if you want to hear more, I need a subscription from you or at YouTube, okay? And if you need some coaching because you're going through this shit or going through some of these problems, I do understand it. I do have empathy for you, and I want to help. So hit me up privately if you need coaching, okay, for this. That includes you ladies, too. You ladies get fucked over a lot by guys. I get it. This one was just for the men, all right? Thanks again. Take care.